Why do humans seek to climb hills and mountains? What drives us to this danger? The adventure? The picturesque view? A sense of pride and accomplishment? There's an apocryphal story about George Mallory, a British mountaineer, who was once asked about why he wanted to summit Everest, and his response was, "Because it's there." So here I am, in the Florida Panhandle, about to summit Florida's highest natural point, Britton Hill. So, obviously, the hike is not very difficult. It takes less than a minute to walk from the parking lot to the high point. And this really is the high point marker. Okay, so jokes aside, Florida is spectacularly flat. I mean, really, really flat. Out of the 50 high points of every state, Florida ranks dead last. The second lowest high point is the Ebright Azimuth in Delaware. Even the smallest state, Rhode Island, has a higher natural point than Florida. Even the District of Columbia, a federal district, has a higher natural point than Florida. Britton Hill is located in a rather small but well-kept park near Lakewood, Florida, an unincorporated community. It's a pretty rural area, out of the way of most cities. I would say the nearest large city is Tallahassee, the capital of Florida, which is located about 2 hours east of Britton Hill. Pensacola, Florida, is located about an hour and a half southwest of Britton Hill. In short, you have to go out of your way to come here. Fun fact, Florida's tallest building, as of June 2022, is the Panorama Tower in Miami. The Panorama Tower stands 868 feet tall, making it more than twice as high above sea level as Britton Hill. Now, I know I said I'd talk about Florida's hydrology in the title of this video, and you might think that's going to be boring, but it's not. I promise it's interesting. Let's begin here. There's a great website run by NOAA called the Sea Level Rise Viewer, which helps visualize how a rising sea level will change our shores. Okay, let's get started. So here's the United States. Let's zoom in on Florida here. And you can adjust the level of the sea using the slider on the left. So MHHW stands for mean higher high water. Let's raise that by a foot here. And you can already see parts of southwestern Florida being flooded. Even parts of Miami being flooded here. Now let's raise that to 2 feet. And even more of southwest Florida is underwater. And much of southeast Florida is underwater as well. Let's raise that by another foot. And just a bit more. You can see here parts of Miami are underwater. And let's take it to the extreme here and raise it all the way up to 10 feet. And you can see that much of Miami, in fact, it looks like almost all of Miami is underwater. Now 10 feet is pretty extreme. I'll give you that. It's very unlikely to happen in our lifetime. But you can see here that much of southern Florida is underwater. And this is just to show how flat Florida is. Now on to Everglades National Park. Many of you may believe that the Everglades is one big swamp, and you'd be mistaken. In the center of the Everglades is an area known as Shark Valley. Water that originates around the Orlando area flows through the Kissimmee River into Lake Okeechobee, which then makes its way into the Everglades. There was a time when people viewed the Everglades as a foul place, a wilderness to be conquered, and much work was done to drain the area and use the land to build farms and houses. Much damage was done to divert the natural flow of water, and as a consequence, the Everglades today is much smaller than it once was. Work to restore the Everglades began in the 1970s and continues to this day. The water that ends up in Snake Valley actually flows, albeit slowly, south, and eventually drains into the ocean. It's called a slough. Think of it like a very wide and shallow river. However, the water flows on a seasonal basis. Rain falls largely in the summer, and in the winter, water dries up as there is less rainfall and the waters up north don't pass through the Everglades like in the summer. Interestingly, winter is a great time for migratory animals in the Everglades, as the receding water forces fish into increasingly isolated pockets of water, making feeding easier. So why is it called Shark Valley? Are there sharks in this valley? No, there aren't. Isn't a valley the low area between hills or mountains? Well, yes, but look here. There is elevated ground to the east and west of Shark River Slough. Based on this, I suppose you can call any area a valley. And I know this isn't what you think of when you hear valley. But even a slight change in elevation can move water. And that's the point. Like I said earlier in this video, Florida is very, very flat. So as far as I'm concerned, this counts as a valley. The Everglades is not a stagnant place. It is a dynamic living area of great biodiversity, and it is fortunate for us nature lovers that people saw sense enough to preserve it for future generations to enjoy. Maybe. Sea level rise might actually put significant chunks of Florida underwater, but that's a topic for another time. Thanks for watching, guys. If I got any details wrong, please let me know and subscribe for more videos. Have a great day!